This is the Conspiracy Commission Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another crazy episode here today. We're going to be talking about the Adam and Eve story, a declassified book brought to us by the CIA, written by Chan Thomas. Today in the studio, we got me, Chris, Eddie, and James.
What's up? What's going on,
What's
guys?
up?
How are y'all doing? Good?
Good.
Good,
Very good.
grand.
Solid. Glad to be back, dude.
Contemplating what we're going to do now that we know that the Earth is a ticking time bomb, waiting on the next cataclysm.
Chan Thomas.
Death.
Getting wild.
Death is coming to all of us.
Cataclysms. Well, we don't know that, but we can theorize.
Yeah.
Oh, there's going to be a whole hell of a lot of that today, people. So sit down and grab your theorizing caps and get ready. Get your feet wet because we're theorizing today. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff today that maybe you may have heard and maybe you may know some stuff, but maybe you didn't hear it presented to you this way here with the Adam and the Eve. It's going to be very interesting with the Adam and the Eve plays a big part into this, right? I mean, that's the name of the book, right?
I mean, should we just tell them, like, if they don't know what the Adam and Eve story is, you know, what it is?
Yeah. If you haven't heard,
Like the actual Adam and Eve story? Or the
the actual.
No. Just like the
Chan Thomas version.
Yeah. Not like in detail, but just like a summary.
It's essentially a description of like the Noah flood, a cataclysmic event happening to Earth. It's essentially what it is.
Basically, yeah.
Like a first-hand account.
But with Adam and Eve involved.
Yeah.
You know, because they're told to leave, right? They're told to leave paradise. It's time for you to go. And they go somewhere else.
Yeah, it's like he talks about it being like multiple cataclysms. Like Adam and Eve getting kicked out of the garden is like one of them. The flood. And
But like using science, he's like saying like this is probably what happened, kind of shit. Not just a story of like a flood or this or that. Like
so, yeah, they
explaining.
Specifically, he talks about like pole shifts and the crust of the Earth unlocking, which has
spinning.
like huge continental shifts and stuff. But the atmosphere would stay spinning while the fucking crust is still moving. So you get these crazy winds, 1,000-mile-an-hour winds. You get 2-mile-high tsunamis.
What?
And I feel like the best example that I heard that was given was
Why
like
even get up in the morning?
A car, you know, like a car going however fast it's going, and you're inside. Like, you know, the whole story. Like if the car stops, you're still going.
Yeah,
because you're not like attached to the car, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what's happening.
Like in Warzone when I'm standing on top of the truck and David drives off the mountain.
Exactly.
And fly off the truck.
Right, you weren't wearing your seatbelt.
I was on top of the roof.
When Chris tries to reload, and he jumps out.
So that explains it.
Clearly.
So who's Chan Thomas? Chan Thomas is the pseudonym that he gave when he wrote the book. His actual name is actually Dr. Chauncey Powers Thomas.
Interesting.
And we got a little description of him here that Eddie found for us on kookscience.com.
Shout out, Jen.
Kook
Science, with the 3 pyramids intertwined with each other in spiral form here, which is like a sus emblem, but
I think it's satire.
Very sus.
yeah, it could be satire.
Very triangular. 3 triangles. It's very triangular right now.
So Chauncey Chan Powers Thomas, from February 15th, 1920 to February 14th, 1998, was an American electrical engineer and psychic who authored a hypothesis of global cataclysms involving radical shifts in Earth's electromagnetic fields that increased the viscosity of the crust, causing rapid continental drift. During the 1950s, Thomas was a project engineer on the Bell Aircraft's Rascal Missile Guidance System and Douglas Aircraft's A-4D Skyhawk program, and was later employed in the late 1960s by McDonnell Douglas to work with Robert Wood's Advanced Concepts R&D team, which worked on UFO and other fringe science-related projects.
Dude, think about the fucking gravity bongs this guy could make, dude. Legendary.
Oh, yeah. So
he worked on the UFO projects.
Yeah.
And
was getting biblical with it.
And he's working with like defense contractors on Skyhawk program, missile guidance systems. He's deep in R&D and like,
research
central
and development
stuff.
people.
Yeah.
Research and development.
He's meeting with.
He's meeting with the Illuminati. He's Illuminati'd up.
Other planets.
That's alleged, people. That's alleged.
It's alleged. Yeah.
That's alleged. We're getting back in. We're climbing into the hypothesis.
He's written a couple books.
Well, 1965. He was working with the UFO with the CIA, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. That's what they're telling us.
I don't think it was the CIA though.
Well, whatever. Fucking.
It was like a
secret
private
government.
No, it was like a private science.
Well, what else do we got here that he was doing?
Yeah, it's a government contractor, right?
Bit.
Yeah, they're scientists that were just working.
Let's finish this out.
That were working on what is that? Like reverse gravity, fucking propulsion or whatever. Like everybody was at that time, fucking.
All right. So what kind of books did he write? He got some books that he wrote, right?
The Adam and Eve story, 1965. 1971, postlude to the Adam and Eve story.
Interesting.
1972, Body 2, The Incredible World of ESP.
Whoa.
1992, Natural Childbirth, Self-Taught.
By a dude. Okay.
1993, The Adam and Eve story, The History of Cataclysms. This is the longest one of the three that he's released, I suppose you could say. I think that's like the 170-page one.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie, though. I feel like that second to last book isn't a book that he should write, right? I mean, like, how does he know what it's like to give birth? You know what I mean? Like, that's something only you...
That's some wild R&D he was working on.
Yeah, research and development. We're not gonna get involved in the second to last book, but I think it's interesting.
Right, I think there's a reason it's not highlighted and available to buy anymore.
So in
canceled.
When is it classified?
Everything's classified, right?
Well, the first one in the 65 one was declassified in 66. I think.
Or was classified in 66.
Yeah. And then it was declassified in 2013.
Yes, sir. Texture's best for a chin chin.
And then a year later, they come out with right before that, 4 years later, they do the 2012 movie.
2009. 2009.
That's when that came out.
Yeah.
2009.
When they described
for the movie 2012.
A cataclysm just like this.
Exactly to the T, just like that. Where it's super freezing temperatures. Remember?
They
got the wolf. You got the wolf out on the boat there, in the dock, in the New York City dock. In the New York City dock, you got
that was the one where Yellowstone just fucking falls apart and they're like taking off on a plane.
Yeah.
That's the crust shift.
Yeah, as it just fucking caves in on itself and the fucking white flames emerge from.
Yeah,
unreal, dude. It's like,
dude, what was crazy was I heard that there was these articles talking about earthquakes and like an earthquake would happen and the earth moved and like so the day was like a couple minutes longer than it normally was.
Like the rotation gets fucked up?
Yeah. Because the fucking crust moved or whatever the earthquake shit was. Yeah. And it fucking...
Wow.
But then he says like the moon balances that out. So it's not like it's permanently shifted in time or whatever. Which I thought was interesting.
I thought it's fixed, right? In rotation, I thought the moon was always going to be... always the same around us, no?
Yeah, but I mean, if we have a big enough shake, you can kind of like fuck shit up. Especially if you because think of it like centripetal force, right?
Okay.
And then you have like a huge crust displacement would like be like moving the weight on that ball, right? So it kind of like fucks with your rotation for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because you're spinning this way, so like it wants to like bring the forces out or whatever. But if there's a big weight shift, it kind of fucks up the rotation.
Yeah.
But I think the theory is that the moon is independent, and it's so like wherever the moon is, if it like this shakes and it's off a little bit, the moon like pulls it back to where it's supposed to be, kind of shit.
There you go.
Whoa, the moon's important then.
Well, yeah. The aliens put it there for a reason, bro. Come on, dude.
I mean, they dropped the second one for
aliens, dude.
We had 2 moons.
Yeah, I remember they dropped the one.
Right, because 2 moons. I mean.
Well, I mean, it depends. If you believe this, then that never happened, right?
That's true. That's true. I don't know what to believe anymore. We've done a year full of conspiracies. And we looked up a whole hell of a lot of stuff, I'll tell you, man. 13 families, huh?
Changed forever, dude.
I mean, where do you go from here? You look up all this stuff, you can't come back from this,
I'm still shook up on Hollow Earth.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
After we read reference 2 here, let's just click the link, dude, because I'm so fucking interested in what he was doing with his UFO stuff. But real quick, before we do that, Wood Robert M. October 2008. This is one of the references here on his biography. McDonnell Douglas studied UFOs in 1960. Project called Bitber for Boys in the Back Room. I guess that's
Whoa, dude,
acronym
what's
is, bro.
going on with
Getting
him and the
freaky
boys?
with the
Dude,
boys in the
I'm
back
telling
room.
Dude, dude.
Lily vibes all around,
Dude.
dude.
No, bitter.
Mufun.
It was called bitter. That was short for boys in the back room.
Yeah.
There were scientists in,
in
the back room doing stuff that
The secret work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't talking about no boys.
Sounds like they were doing some gay shit.
Yeah, it's the cover. That's the cover, bro.
Oh yeah, I guess you could have that cover.
Which is fine if that's how you know.
Yeah. We're not trying to get canceled.
Completely fine. No,
Right?
Completely fine.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to partake.
MUFON UFO Journal.
Not even in the room.
Fort Collins. CO. Mutual UFO Network.
Closing the door on that.
So Thomas had such outlandish claims that even some in our own group had difficulty accepting him. For example, he claimed that he had trained some youngsters to guess 42 playing cards right out of 47 in an ESP test.
There's
Which we were
52.
talking about this before the podcast
There's
started
52
too.
cards in a deck, people.
And it like immediately reminded me of like the remote viewing stuff that like we had previously talked about on one of our episodes, like the CIA remote viewing.
Mm-hmm.
Go check it
Yeah,
out. It was
see,
a pretty cool episode.
He worked with UFOs,
He's connected, bro.
and he talked to the UFO captain from or whatever the hell that is. Andromeda.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he not talk to them if he was working with the UFO projects?
Right.
He knows a whole lot about a whole lot. So.
He probably went to a bunch of underground bases. They were like, he got the invite.
Yeah.
He got the,
problem
he
is
got the
tried-
fucking invite.
The
dude.
problem
Yeah.
is he tried to tell everybody.
Yeah.
That's always the problem. You can't tell everybody. This guy wanted to tell everybody. Hey, he lived to be to the ripe old age, right? He lived pretty long, right?
I think it was 78.
That's not bad. That's
20,
not bad.
20,
That's,
1920 to 1998.
Yeah.
that's not bad. That's a pretty good life. That's a pretty good life. No? That's pretty good, right? 70s?
So after these
What do you go,
playing
80s?
card
Maybe 90s?
fiasco
Compared to
here,
nowadays, I don't know.
100?
he escalates that. He one-ups his whole playing card
100?
ESP
100?
test.
120? Sorry. I'm sorry.
So he made an appointment with the UFO captain from Andromeda, like James was just saying, to meet him one night near Joshua Tree. Unfortunately, the captain didn't show. Once,
He
when
was
I let
busy.
Sean talk to an actual customer, he embarrassed us, Jesus, terribly when the
Butcher.
guy called up
CBD.
and asked me why I hadn't fired him long ago. His value to me was in his tremendously innovative mind. He was a totally out-of-the-box thinker. So at least he says something generally nice at the end there.
Agreed.
He's a whack job scientist.
Yeah, he's fucking crazy, man, but he thinks outside of the box.
This
He's just the
dude,
guy we
bro.
need. That's the guy you want working on the UFO project.
That's the guy that when
think
shit
so.
goes wrong, he fucking turns on you.
Right?
This guy sounds like Aleister Crowley, but
when shit goes wrong, he's
scientist.
the one who comes up with the out-of-box solution to fix it, right? Like, plan A fails, bro, and he's like, don't worry, guys, I have plan ZY.
Whoa, shit.
No, see, my thought is he comes up with the plan to save himself.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Look, he's teaching kids how to do ESP, bro.
Yeah, so he could do their fucking bidding for him.
No. He's not some nefarious guy.
Yeah, no, he's like the fucking dude from Game of Thrones.
What do you mean? He's Geppetto, bro.
The guy that has all
No.
the
Yeah,
little-
he's Geppetto,
he's
bro.
got all the kids running
If he was
around the
nefarious, he would have just called up his UFO captain homie, and he would have been off to Andromeda, dude.
like
He
the
wouldn't be
children-
fucking chilling here.
fucking-
He's trying to help us
children
out.
whisper to me,
All right,
they
this is
whisper
all
to me.
allegedly. This is
All right,
all
Yeah,
alleged.
yeah. Good guy. I
Hell of a guy.
I don't like talking bad about dead people.
He's got a weird jacket.
So that's a little intro on Thomas here.
We won't.
Right.
We won't keep that going. All right.
We got let's bring up that one clip from this video because this kind of talks about the scientists and like some of the theories that were going on here.
Dude, this guy looks like he
here,
scraps.
from here forward.
Yeah,
This
so
dude
this is
could
like
fight, bro.
This is like 40s. Well, he's in the army or something, right? He's
Yeah,
like
this
one
dude
of like,
could scrap, dude.
if you guys know anything about like Admiral Richard Byrd, or
James
any of the
James
crazy
would
stuff-
piss this guy off in a pool game at the bar.
Dude, I was smoking some people in pool last night.
James would piss this guy off at the bar, dude. Take all his money.
I was too drunk to play pool.
So this
good.
is Major Maynard E. White, United States Air Force commanding officer for Project Nanook. Oh fuck! Wait, before we do this,
Say man nook.
can we,
What'd you say?
shit. Can we click on that link, the UFO link? Just look at it real quick, Chris. I have to. Where does it go?
Where's it go? Move on.
The MUFON Journal.
Oh
man,
my
this
God.
is a gold mine, dude. How did I miss this, bro?
Dude.
It's our 40th anniversary here at MUFON. 2009.
Dude, whip the cake out, dude. Let's
Dude,
get
this
it.
guy's got the mustache, bro.
Dude, from a distance.
From a distance.
It's a stash on this guy.
Hold on.
It looks a little crooked,
Hold
if
on.
I'm going to be honest.
Mutual UFO Network, Fort Collins. What?
Whoa. What was that?
I just wanted to...
Zoom in a bit.
MUFON's
Zoom
mission
in a
is
bit.
the scientific study of UFOs for the benefit of humanity through science and research.
New field investigator exam?
What's that mean? What do we investigate?
Oh, dude, we have to take the MUFON field investigator exam. Is that possible?
Not on this epi, dude. Come
Dude,
on.
just a real quick one. Come on, bro. You
just a
scared
quick
of a
one.
pop quiz, dude?
Is this it? No, wait.
Dude, if there were a fucking play,
Continues on page 22.
if there's a way that we could play out, like jumping off track, we're starting to veer.
We're veering right
We're
now.
veering a little bit, dude. Just an
Getting
exam.
veered,
Just
dude.
one exam.
Hey, but the people want to take it with us.
Okay,
I'm sure it's interesting.
we're just here to do what the people want, ladies and gents.
Let us know how
You want to hear about UFOs?
Oh, a field investigator. Wait,
let
go
us
back
know
up,
in the
go back.
comments if
What's
you
up?
want to hear about
Yeah.
us do UFOs.
Oh, rankings. Uh-oh. Who's number one?
Me,
Minnesota.
Minnesota, don't you know? Shout out to my man Chad.
Jim King.
Where's Florida?
For all state directors.
Whoa.
Is this an
didn't
official
even-
organization?
We didn't even make the list.
Is this a government organization? Or are they just making it sound like a government organization?
So we didn't even make the list. Dude, we got to get Florida on this list, dude. How do we not get Florida on the list? Dude,
I guess we don't get UFOs down here, dude.
no way, dude.
No, there's UFOs all the time on the beach, dude. What are you talking
Come
about?
on, dude. What are you, crazy? Honeymoon Island, bro?
We were underwater in the last cataclysm. That's why. There's nothing here.
Scroll down for us here.
Ah, dude, $45. Sign me up, dude.
I'm in, dude.
Non-member, 55.
Okay. How do we get the state on the
I
map?
thought that was a fucking... That's not an exam.
This isn't the exam.
It said page 22.
UFO marketplace. We can buy UFOs.
The UFOstore.com.
Oh,
Hundreds of UFO DVDs, EMAGs, ebooks,
All right, this is starting to sound like some
We're getting-
Comic-Con convention thing.
Yeah, we're getting into like selling us a course here.
Sus. The whole site was sus.
Whoa.
What's that?
A prophecy to 12/21/2012.
Yeah, but that's come and gone, dude. We're still here.
But this
obviously.
was in 2009.
Oh, was it?
Well, dude, that's because we
Yeah.
switched timelines, obviously, once ours ended. Come on, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
They were
don't.
saying that
That's a
20
whole nother
2012
episode.
was gonna be the thing.
It's a whole nother epi, dude. Please. Please. Don't give it to
All
him.
right.
You guys
I think-
want
I
that.
think-
Okay,
I
that
think
was
we
enough of
veered-
diversion.
I
Enough
think
of
we
a
veered-
diversion.
I think we veered enough.
All right.
I'm glad we listened to me. I'm glad that
Just
there's
like back it up like
someone in the room.
Just do like
that
one
could-
click back here, Chris.
You think we were listening to you?
I mean, maybe.
Completely.
This dude could fucking scrap, bro. I'm telling you right
so,
now.
So we're back. We're listening to a clip on YouTube here that I found. The title of the video is Cosmic Disaster, space CIA Classified. And this is from Sophisticated Observers, the YouTube channel.
How far back am I going?
Just right here is fine. Did you just do one click back?
I did too.
Okay, that's fine.
Then again, nearly everyone who studied the catastrophe over the last 300 years came to that same conclusion. In the 1940s, one of the most critical scenes of this theater played out at the North Pole. Major Maynard E. White led the first mission to map and understand the Arctic region, mostly because of navigational concerns and to monitor for Soviet attacks over the pole. When it became imperative to locate the magnetic pole position, the scientists found much more than they bargained for when they got their boots on the ground. They found evidence of marine strata, lifted to significant altitude, time after time, and with tropical corals found in that Arctic region strata, complementing the evidence of similar
Tropical
fossils found by
corals.
Admiral Byrd in Antarctica, both complementing the prehistoric trees unearthed in Norway, which had no rings, indicating that they resided at the equator. All in all, Major White's team believed that they had unearthed 9 levels of catastrophe on the planet. These findings were reported at the Pentagon, attended also by Paul Sipple of the RAND Corporation and presumably members of the Office of Strategic Services, where Charles Hapgood was a key player in geophysics. And working with Major White's findings and Dr. Sipple's experiments, it was concluded that Earth's magnetic pole began slowly accelerating, followed by a whip around the geographic polar region, which somehow tilts the planet back and forth, which is why there is evidence of the polar regions in the same places over and over, because it always tilts right back and appears to have not moved over geologic time.
Pause.
They confirm.
So that's like another part of the theory to here for these apocalypses is like that it goes back. That little diagram there is just like a 90-degree switch, and then it comes back.
So it switches really quickly,
Yeah.
and then slowly goes back to where it was.
Or goes back quickly. I forget exactly. But that could be an explanation for a reason as to why, like, okay, if the poles have shifted multiple times, dude, like, why do we keep finding evidence that shows that the North Pole's always been over here or the South Pole's, wherever, right? Because you can, like, see it in, like, some, like, rocks, like, the way that, like, their electromagnetic field lines up and stuff. You can see, like, when they were, like, formed, where the pole was.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's what, like, a lot of, like, the evidence will show, like, oh, no, dude, these apocalypses haven't happened.
Right.
Because we can prove that the pole's been here. Well, if it fucking goes back and forth, dude, maybe the evidence that you're finding is always at the time period where it was back over here, instead of it just doing that quick switch.
How do they even study that?
That's the thing is, it's just all just
It's
like
all
theory.
fucking makeup science.
Mathematics and
There apparently, like, the rock thing is like something like scientific. Like
We've only dug so far into the earth. The earth's so thick.
yeah.
The bottom of the ocean.
And it starts to get hot the deeper you go.
Well, yeah, dude, and then the whole idea of, like, the crust and the mantle, and then having this, like, little plastic part in between that's, like, being able to be affected by the electromagnetic stuff, so that the crust above it is actually able to slide, right? Like, it loses the friction.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean,
How would people live in Agartha if it was that hot?
it's not like we've drilled into the mantle and can say, yeah, for sure, the mantle's right there. You know what I mean? We haven't gone through the crust.
Well, that's the thing is, if you believe in this, you can't believe in Hollow Earth.
Yeah.
Really, because you're saying that
the
core is like iron or whatever it is, and
Yeah.
it's creating this magnetic field, and every once in a while, the thing is, like, remember, like, a few years ago they said that the Earth stopped spinning, or like the core in the middle stopped spinning, and now it's spinning like counterclockwise.
Yeah.
So it's like, but nothing that we know of, right? Like we didn't feel anything change, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
not at all.
It wasn't catastrophe level. Cataclysmic.
Yeah, and my thing too is like the cataclysm that they describe is so like destructive and violent. Like how did anything, like how did animals survive? You know?
Well, yeah, I mean it's like the handful of people, right? That he says, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's basically
it's not even,
gators, fucking sea turtles, like what?
the handful of people.
it's literally he literally says like whatever God made, basically, which is interesting.
Because that's what I'm saying. Like, if 5 people survived, then how did even like one koala, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
where did all these species come from? Like, and how did they all make it?
Well, in the Adam and Eve story, it says that everything that God made will survive, and then man will be in control of the beast, and you know, the first smells and everything that are in the air and everything is, you know, by
You talking
God.
about the real Adam and Eve story, or
the real one, yeah. You know,
From the Bible.
From the Bible. But this one here, it's like, you know, everything settles, and then everything just resets. You know, whatever survives.
Yeah, whatever survives keeps going. I guess that's the other evidence, though, right? Is like the mammoths.
Yeah, that's the most. That was for me. That was the most humdinger. You know, is because it's frozen in that what I forget what he calls it. He calls it something, but that's what they find the mammoths in, frozen in that sediment. Basically, that was like the proof of it being picked up from a tropical region and then brought hundreds of thousands of miles.
Flash frozen.
Because
like the stuff in its stomach was
in
frozen.
minutes.
You know, like, and like.
Well, he
maintained-
died.
Well,
the one in
they
particular.
found one chewing.
Yeah,
on like grass or
the
something.
one I'm talking about in particular, he died with an erection.
Yeah, that one.
So this is how they can prove to you that the fucking thing was alive when it was frozen, because his fucking penile was still hard as a diamond in an ice
Dude,
cream.
and if
what
you-
a
and if you-
fucking shit time for an apocalypse, man.
But
And
that's
if-
the
and if
way you
you've
want to
ever-
go. No, I mean
You're
hard
getting
as a
mammoth
rock.
pussy, bro, and then you just get picked up, ripped out.
You're
dude.
literally about to get it.
You're about to
some
finish
mammoth pussy.
You're about to mount and you just get hit with a 1,000-mile-per-hour fucking wind.
Dude, the
It picks
last
up a
thing on
fucking
his
mammoth.
Nah, dude, that's how you go out as a mammoth, bro. The last thing on his mind was fucking mammoth poon, baby. Let's
If
go.
you've ever had an erection, you know
Let's go.
It's hot-blooded down there. So
yeah.
for it to get frozen in that state,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, I think like some of the
so
numbers they
quick.
were talking about was like negative 80 degrees Celsius changes like instantly almost. So it's just like
Some
dude,
they
ridiculousness.
did the.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they like tried to do the math on like for a pound of like meat or like steak or whatever, like how quickly it took it to freeze it, you know.
Well, because it's
immediately
very
like that.
important, because if you don't freeze the meat quick enough, what happens is you build up the bacteria and everything breaks down. So when you defrost it, it's trash,
It's
basically.
literally just like goo, yeah.
yeah.
It's trash. You can't even. You
But the
can't
way
do
these
that
guys
in
were
it.
preserved, it was just
Immediate.
yeah.
Immediate.
Like dropped in a fucking what's the frozen shit
Immediately.
that they do like the Oreos in or whatever.
Oh, you're talking about like some nitrous
nitrous oxide or
nitroglycerin?
No. Whatever they drop the Oreos in when they deep fry them.
This here, like after like they go into the ice ages and like
Oil?
this little paragraph here kind of gives a good description of it too.
Yeah, they freeze the Oreo and they toss it in some
Flour?
dough shit. Yeah, what do they use to freeze it? It's
It's
like
like
dry.
s-
It's like dry ice or something.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's like they use it to freeze off your warts and shit, and then they dump it out of the cup and it fucking disappeared. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, dry ice. Yeah, it's dry. That's dry.
Ah,
That's dry ice. That's
So the
dry ice.
polar flip phenomenon could
Cap.
have had more dramatic consequences. In the previous chapter, Frank McGill says just shifting
Frank
of the,
McGillicuddy.
This isn't the book though.
this isn't the book. This is just like another
Off
guy's
track.
take on the
back to
on cataclysms.
back to the UFOs.
But like it like on how like what happens like when it shifts into like a new ice age, I think is what he's like talking about here.
That dude should cut his fingernails.
Shifting of the Earth's surfaces relative to its axis of
Extremely
rotation
inconsistent.
is almost certainly a major cause of a so-called ice age. It stands to reason that any major crustal shift would not only transport the old ice caps to the lower latitudes, but it would produce an ice age conditions in the new polar regions, which were formerly temperate or tropical areas, right? So, like, if you move the fucking equator up to where the North Pole is now, how does it instantly become a North Pole, right? Well, it's because you just moved all the ice back down to the equator, right? It's going to go all melt. That's all the precipitation that you need to start having more snowfall, which is going to compact into new polar ice caps. Is kind of like what he's talking about here.
And it's going to expose, land that was probably previously underwater too.
Yeah. Precipitation would increase as the old ice rinks quickly evaporate in the lower latitudes, causing torrential rains and flooding in the new temperate and tropic zones, as well as heavy snowfall in the new polar regions.
So that's when everything resets. And we just go, all right, this is day one, people. Get it together, you
get the
fucking
flood,
waste.
and you get new ice caps.
But they only came to this conclusion because of what that guy found in Antarctica from like testing the different layers, right? Like that.
Well, they had it seems like they had found evidence of polar flips, or of pole flips, not
Of this
polar
place
flips.
that is currently the coldest part of the world.
Yeah,
not
having
being
coral
the coldest
reef
part.
fucking
Yeah,
shit.
being
for some
tropical like
reason.
at a fucking equator.
Yeah.
Right.
They concluded that at least 5 major polar flips had occurred in a fairly recent geological history.
Whoa.
But couldn't it also just be that because they say we're like in an ice age right now, right?
Or we're entering into one.
Or like
Really?
the fact that we even have like such big ice caps
polar
on the
caps.
planet, that we're technically still in an ice age or whatever.
Really?
I think I heard that.
Yeah, I think I've heard that too.
We're on
We're
the
not
we're on the
scientists,
ass end
but-
of it. We're coming out. We're on the ass end of it.
Well, the whole argument that like global cooling is a lot worse than global warming.
Yeah, you don't want to go into another ice age.
Yeah.
Who does? You know, I don't want to. I don't like it cold.
Another super ice
I
age.
think it's comfortable where we're at. Although
I like it.
a little
It's a little chilly today.
chilly today.
Yeah.
A little chilly.
It was chilly today. I mean, now that we're on the toppy, bro. Honestly, you know, Florida, chill out a bit, right? You're getting a little Chiliano Rivera, the greatest chili of all time.
We got lucky this winter though. Wasn't that bad?
It wasn't. No, it was just a couple weeks.
So what?
Do
wait,
we want to do this piece?
This guy's got a stare to him.
Keep playing that other. I think there's a little more, some more interesting stuff after this.
Confirmed the catastrophe
another
aspects of
minute
the
or
new
two.
mountain range creation and ice age conditions immediately following the Great Event. Charles Hapgood, Paul Sipple, and the Pentagon are perhaps the most credible advocates of this 10 to 12,000 year cycle of disaster on Earth, especially when you
We've already kind of talked about this with like the Younger Dryas
Yeah.
period and that huge fucking temperature change that they have recorded and shit. Dude.
Yeah.
So it's like,
That's what's so interesting about the pyramids and how the pyramids were literally from the civilization
Nope.
before.
25
Oh,
years.
okay.
25 years for
Well,
Khufu.
that's- no,
Wrong.
No, that's
Wrong.
Well, that's the
It's a tomb.
That's what's
That's
interesting.
mainstream
about
academia right there, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, Chris. What
That's what's interesting about the Adam and Eve stories. The guy says that the last one was like 6,500 years ago, right, or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's like, and like the time scale in between them keeps getting smaller and smaller, right? It was like a
Right.
30,000 year difference, then a 20.
But he's
or
saying we're
15.
past the halfway point now, so it's like
We're kind of due.
we're due. But the thing is, like, they're gonna start getting more farther spread apart or whatever.
Yeah, we're really fucking preggo.
I thought they were getting close. No?
Well, he
I have
said
that wrong?
he said they get closer until you get to the half life
Oh,
of the planet,
okay.
and then it starts spreading back out.
That's right.
So it's like hash mark and then big gap, hash mark, smaller gap, and then like
Yeah.
we're past the halfway point now because he said it went like 6,000 and then it was 11,000. So there was like a 4,000 or 5,000 year gap, and now it's like getting bigger.
CBD. So you're trying to tell me now the planet's over, and I'm on it.
Well, it could, or we just might lose electronics for a couple of days.
Look, don't be worried. Don't be afraid. Don't be worried. You still have to pay your taxes.
Yeah,
Keep
keep-
paying your taxes.
Keep working.
Continue consuming. Work.
Work. Consume. Work.
Which, like,
Tax.
that could have like been a reason, like, that they do like sanitize some of this and like
I
kind
wanna-
of like try and bury the theory and not like and classify this because like, dude, like,
I mean, this
society could kind of like break down if you're like, hey guys, we have a provable fucking theory here that's saying like the apocalypse is coming.
It totally could be because this guy was like, he was on Carson and shit, so he could have been like getting out there and getting recognized, you know, by people.
Yeah,
And they would
Carson's
and then they
a
would
big
go buy his
audience.
book, and then they would read the book, and they'd be like, "Oh my god, the world's gonna end anytime."
Carson's a big audience. I mean, you're sitting there on the Carson show. A lot of people are watching. That was
Yeah.
huge back in the day. You know what I mean?
And I think in the first iteration, he's like, "It's gonna happen again." But I need about 20 more years to find out when that's gonna happen. So it's like they're just on edge for 20 years. They're like,
Right.
Oh my god, dude! I hope this guy releases a book soon. I need to know. I need to know what happened.
Cliffhanger, 20-year cliffhanger, guys.
Shit.
Jesus.
No, seriously though,
Lord.
think about it. Think about in history the different people that have come out and said some outlandish, whether it be outlandish or not, and you have no way to prove them wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what that does to somebody. We have so much information at our fingertips now, and we still don't know.
Right.
I think we skipped ahead here, but this is like another little image that he was showing. Like, so we have the
that's
current.
that's when the Earth was
That's
flat,
gold right there, Chris.
right?
Gold. That was gold.
I think this is just like a map. A flat map of Earth.
Yeah, and this is just so this is showing like
James is
when
trolling.
when it shifts. Oh, it's trolling. Okay.
James is trolling, but yeah, no, this is where like the idea where the new poles would be, like as like on the equator, right?
What's the dragon's triangle? I've never heard of that.
Whoa.
Is
The
that real?
Dragon's
A
Triangle.
copy of the Bermuda Triangle, I guess.
Well, make sure to come
Yeah.
back next week, guys, when we do the dragon's triangle.
That sounds like season 25 of fucking Game of Thrones.
Only if they kept it going. Only if they kept it going.
Can you go back and play another like minute of that clip? There? What was
What
the
do you mean
time
go
stamp?
back?
This is it.
No.
Or did it move?
Yeah, because we're in like 30 minutes in or something. It was only like 10 minutes in. It was way at the beginning.
I have no idea, dude.
Didn't you open up 2 windows of the same window?
Oh, right there, right there, right there. I just
Right here?
yeah, right there, right there.
This? Are you sure?
Maybe
That
a
wasn't
little
that wasn't the guy.
There it is. I just saw his face. Right there. That's the book. That's the book we were just looking at.
Debunked by modern
Oh,
geophysicists,
shit.
taking down the and forth, which is why there is evidence of the polar regions
All right,
in the
cool.
same places over and over,
Wait, we
because
watched
it always
this
tells
already.
right creation, perhaps the most.
Yeah.
Hapgood
Perfect.
continued his classified life, while also teaching at various universities up through the late 60s. During the 50s, in the years following Major White's Arctic mission, Charles Hapgood stepped into the limelight in his public life with the famous Earth's crust displacement theory. It was a much mutated version from what we heard from Major White, where the poles do not go back and forth
Pause.
to the same places. The cycle
This is like the CIA asset guy. They like, I'm pretty sure they used this scientist to like put out this fucking like stupid theory that was gonna get
He's like,
Debunked.
No, this isn't. He's like, no.
and so that people
This
would
guy's
like
bullshit.
like not like look into this. I think they tried to like control the narrative a little bit here. Play it.
No way.
He's like the pole shift, but
Different disaster, different timeline, different tilt. But Einstein like
still gotta go to work.
commented on this and was like, yeah, possible. I just don't know about the whole crust shift. But he was on board with the pole shift.
Ah.
cycle is twice as long, and instead of a one-day event, it takes thousands of years to complete, and which was easily debunked by modern geophysicists, taking down the entire science of catastrophism with it. That is the famous version with the foreword written by Albert Einstein. That is not disputed, as his work with Hapgood was well known in the years before he died. However, Einstein was likely privy to the same information as Hapgood, and the
There's
final
like
book
a
came
lot
out
of
after he
scientists
died.
talking
There
about
was no
this
way
shit
of
at the
knowing if
time.
Einstein supported the
Not a
radically
lot,
different
but, like,
version
you know,
that
it's like
Hapgood
he
eventually
names off
espoused.
fucking, like,
But what we
5.
do know is that Einstein saw the cycle of catastrophe and the turning over of the Earth. He was looking for a way to unlock the crust from the low velocity zone in the years before he died.
This
we know
low
he never did
velocity
find
zone
sufficient
between the crust
geophysical
and the
mechanism.
mantle. And
Hapgood's
once that
version of
like
the story,
unlocks,
public
then
one,
the crust
does
can
not
shift.
match what he
That's
and
the
Sybil
idea.
delivered to Major White at the Pentagon a decade earlier. It does not match the geological evidence or the timelines as well. Hapgood's versions, again, were easily debunked. Now,
Easily debunked.
Keep going, keep going.
Einstein discussed this for years with Hapgood, and the only contribution was a foreword. Maybe. But, armed with that foreword, the weak version of crust displacement Hapgood placed over the field had the credibility to do so. The Chan-Thomas version matches the version that somehow got lost between the Pentagon and Charles Hapgood's public life, and it was in
Pause.
fact classified.
So it matches the version that they kind of like made disappear with this new guy's fucking theory. Because his theory got popular, Einstein was talking about it, and then it got debunked, and people are like, okay, pseudoscience, dude.
Yeah, but then
And
they
so-
say Hapgood came out and corrected himself. Like he said, I can't remember what it was.
I don't
He was
remember.
talking about it at one point, and he came back later on and he said, well, actually what we found out was this, and this. It changed. I can't remember what the study was they did.
That was in that other.
Well, I
video. He
think once
says-
they start considering like the sun's involvement with like little like mini flare ups and stuff, and how that can affect our magnetic field and shit, I think the whole like crust displacement thing became more popular. That's where they talk about this, the fucking layer between the crust and the mantle. There's like some fucking layer there, and when it gets fucked up by the magnetic stuff, like it loses its friction on the crust, and that's how the crust can
Yeah, how
slide.
which causes
Yeah,
the continents to
yeah.
move because it's not hard.
Yeah.
So that would make sense with the water in ancient civilizations or cities before us being at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
And us
Oh,
never
yeah.
even know about it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
Yes.
why you see these spaceships, these UFOs coming out of the water. Because they were so advanced, everybody was like, oh shit, it's happening. And they got in their spaceships and they.
Yeah, no, because I mean, we were talking about this. How do you survive this? I mean, maybe if you're like underground in some like bunker and like even with the crust and everything shifting, like you don't get fucked up. Maybe
Yeah.
if it doesn't get
Everybody
crushed
got
and
on,
collapsed, like if it maintains structural integrity, you're good, right? Because you're not getting hit by tsunami, right? You're in your fucking little bunker box or whatever. You got your rations for 10 years or whatever the case is.
Your Noah's
Or-
mothership.
Or you have to go into space, or be on some fucking super boat, right?
See, I don't know how
But how do
Yeah.
you? But even if you're on the boat, how do you survive the temperature changes and all this fucking crazy shit? The 10,000 mile an hour winds or whatever, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like they got off the planet.
Yeah, or you go into space.
Yeah, yeah. If they're as advanced as we, if they're farther along than we ever were, and they were like us, and they're like, hey, this looks like this shit's gonna shift, and we're gonna get fucked.
Because we talked about it fucking last. We talked about it almost every episode. Of like,
or they didn't know shit, and they all died except the ones that didn't know shit. They didn't believe, they've never heard it. It just happened.
Yeah.
Like, if you've never listened to a podcast like this, or you've never done any of this research, and you hear this,
You're crazy. Yeah, we're crazy.
Yeah.
well, you could believe that. Like, they even say some of the Mayans, or who was it that said that they
They were the Mayans who were Sumerians. That's what they were saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
They're saying that even some of their language is Sumerian.
But no, what I'm saying is they're in their history, their lineage, they knew about the previous cataclysm that happened.
Right. Because someone had to be
It
Sumerian.
just got passed down,
Yeah.
passed down, passed down.
Part of the tradition. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we're going with the theory that I was saying earlier, how like they become more frequent and then they start getting more spread out, right? Like the first one happens, and then there's this long ass time period. Those people smart as fuck, right?
Yeah.
They get off before the next one happens, kind of shit.
They
And
don't
then
warn nobody?
And the thing is, and then the next one, right? So they come back.
Well, you come
after
back,
the
bro.
next one.
You're a fucking alien, and you come back to caveman.
Yeah, and that's
So
why
how,
you get,
how the fuck
that's-
do you tell them?
That's why you get the drawings. They don't speak your language. They're fucking.
They have no understanding of
Yeah.
fucking all the science that you guys went thousands of years fucking creating. Or
So you
learning.
build them this pyramid, and you just leave.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just kidding. But so yeah, so then they don't have enough time to figure it out and get off the planet, right? So then like the last couple are like the fucking.
This is such a cool topic, dude.
It really
it's
is.
wild.
I mean,
It's wild.
yeah, it's just incredible because Adam and Eve, that's his daughter. So I don't know. This is fucking crazy. I thought Adam and Eve, they were finna do it. They were gonna bust it down. Adam was gonna dig in Eve's.
I mean,
ass.
bro, you're not doing it. You're
Whoa.
like,
Whoa.
oh, I'm the last hope for the human race, dude. I'm gonna be the human race's savior, and you're just not gonna do it. What? You gotta do it. You gotta do it, dude.
That's your daughter, dude.
Bro,
What if the government's telling you can't?
what government? It's just you.
Yeah. What if the government says you get a tax break
They're like, listen, if you,
for every
Dude,
baby?
you're gonna fail the human race, dude. Come
if
on,
you
bro.
go back to Earth 2 and you tell those people anything, you're Messiah, you're
Right.
But that isn't that what he goes into though? Is like one of the Hindu god was actually a survivor from the last cataclysm.
Yeah,
isn't
Vishnu or something.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Crazy.
And then like Osiris is like
it?
the
How the fuck did he live so long?
the Egyptian counterpart,
Whoa.
and then I forget what the other ones were, but I think he lists like 3. I think
Yeah.
Vishnu, Osiris, one other.
Animals.
So,
Very
okay,
savage.
but before we pause here and kind of went off on this other tangent, dude. So like this, so that theory that got debunked kind of was like a little different than the Adam and Eve story, right? So I'm thinking like maybe that's another reason why they could have classified it, because it's starting to bring up the theories that could have been like proven true or not debunked as easily as their plant guy, and so they're like, fuck, we gotta shut this down, we gotta turn it off, classify it, dude.
It's
I
possible.
mean, it makes me think like this was like popular and this was the shit at the time, you know? And it was like, so all these guys were coming out with all their crazy theories, and if Einstein backed up one or whatever, you know, it was like,
Said something was plausible, made a
yeah,
comment
next
on
thing,
it,
next
you
thing
know?
you know, you're on Carson, or, you know,
Yeah.
like it was all publicity,
Publicity,
whatever,
yeah.
whatever thing.
All right,
So maybe that's why they declassified it, because they're like, look, we can't have all these people coming out with these fucking theories fucking up people's lives and shit or whatever. So then I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
let's play a little more from this.
They
I think
wanna
he
start building their
I think he
fucking
elaborates
ships.
on what I was just
I don't know
saying.
what the tool receipt has anything to do with.
It's fucking weird, dude.
Everything
Fucking-
that he bought.
We'll talk about that too.
Classified in the years after Hapgood's work, the first work to deviate from that flawed story since the flawed story came out. It plainly contradicts the version that the CIA geophysicist Charles Hapgood was promoting around the world, even if he had promoted a different one in private. And Chan's version got classified, as apparently did that real version of the story reported from what Major White and Paul Sipple provided. Einstein's key problem was the evidence of Greenland's tilting action, but a lack of weight in ice to pull the crust itself. Nobody had ever before discovered a mechanism for how the Earth would actually accomplish this unfathomable disrespect of inertia.
Disrespect of inertia.
Frankly, the explanation
guy
of blaming
kills
the
it.
hand of God had about as much evidence as anything else up until that point. That is, until the version Chan Thomas tried to put out. The postlude of Chan's work was not part of the sanitized release by the CIA, but it was included in a 1993 version of the book the CIA apparently didn't feel the need to classify due to the disrepute of the field of catastrophism. Nobody cares anymore. The postlude describes the only potential
just
mechanism
said.
for connection of all the evidence from beneath our feet out to the sun. In recent years, the move in cosmology to see the galactic
Yeah, and then
magnetic field
we
structure
start
as
getting
coherent.
into like crazy like magnetic field like examples and like different like science
Some
and stuff
wild
that they're
shit.
doing. Not so like
Hard to
not just the
understand.
fucking Earth's magnetic field, but like the solar system's magnetic field and then the fucking galaxy's magnetic field. There's like a bunch of crazy shit this guy starts talking about. But if you want to go to the other clip here too that he has, Chris, that one that was later on, way later on. Oh shit, these glass things, dude. So they found these like those bits of glass. Yeah, this clip. Go back to that just real quick. Yeah, so these are like glass fragments, right? That they find on like the moon and like other places. And they have like radioactive materials or like the way that they're formed. The process to form them can only be achieved with like extreme amounts of heat or like with these like electromagnetic waves or like disturbances and stuff. Like it's different than the other glass that's been found on there from like volcanic activity or from asteroid impacts. But and so they're trying to say that this is evidence that these like solar flares have happened before, right? It's like this is actual evidence that you can point to say that the only way that these specific pieces of glass would have been able to be produced is if one of these crazy electromagnetic events happened.
Where was this found?
Yeah, where
On
they
the
found?
moon.
On the moon. Okay.
On the moon.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't remember if he said that they found stuff anywhere else, but yeah, apparently from like the Apollo missions, and then they even have the recording of one of the astronauts on there talking about it. That's another thing with this fucking theory. You have to believe in the moon landing, dude.
Just keep piling them on.
But
dude.
Humdinger right there. That'll
yeah,
make
like
you
the
think.
astronauts are fucking, they're bouncing around on their little fucking, hangar setup that they got, and they're like, oh, look at the glass. This is crazy. We're gonna take this specimen in Houston.
All right.
So yeah, this is another little clip from it here from Cosmic Disaster, CIA classified from.
Who is this guy? Do we know?
It's one of the scientists that was talking about the different like theories on like the electromagnetic stuff. I forget his fucking name, but I don't think what we're about to see is from this guy. Play the clip and it'll give us.
I thought it was him talking, or no?
On a accident-prone planet.
What were all these
All right,
ancient
pause.
people saying?
All right, so this is from Voices of the Past by Dr. August Dunning, and this is going to show us some pictures and like talk about different writings that ancient people have that seem to potentially describe some of these cataclysmic events. And if it's from different time periods, from different parts of the world, or same parts of the world, or different parts of the world, same time period, you could point to this as more evidence of people have already been through these cataclysms and they've recorded it. And another weird thing about some of these drawings too is they look like some of like the plasma shit that you would see going on in the sky when these electromagnetic things are happening. So
Better hug your kids.
yeah, pretty weird. You'd see
Oh,
these
yeah.
weird spirals, or like it's almost like a squatting man. He has his arms out like this, and then his legs are the reverse of this, just down. And it's like he shows like the scientific fucking picture of like the plasma thing that you would be seeing around it. It looks like very similar. So it's very weird, man. It's almost like a fucking caveman was looking at this shit happening, right? And he drew it in the best way that he could.
As he's
But,
watching it happen.
Yeah, up in the sky. So, all right, play this.
They only had one artist, and they're all yelling at him. He's
In the
just
whole
like,
village.
I'm fucking trying, dude. The chisel sucks.
He's like fucking panicking.
I'm gonna asking the elders in this village to get me a new chisel for fucking many moons now.
I mean, I don't know. This one looks pretty detailed.
Right? Look at that circle, dude. You did pretty good.
That's pretty
Yeah,
symmetrical,
down the
dude.
He had some time.
That's pretty symmetrical, dude. He didn't look like he was under stress when he was banging this out, dude.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. The apocalypse is happening, dude, and you're not even stressed out a little bit, dude?
Not even a bit, bro.
What the fuck is going on,
Steady
dude?
hand, bro.
Talk about
The sun
captain.
hasn't fucking moved in a whole day, dude.
Steady
He's
hand.
like talking about the captain going down with the ship. He's like, I'm the one, dude. I have to write this down.
Plus, I'm an artist, so I might as well just get to it.
I've been training my whole existence for this.
I'm going down with the shit.
All right, we're pushing play.
What were all these people trying to remember?
What were
We
they
must
trying
take the
to-
words left to us in generations of oral histories and written records of observations in the sky as
Shoulders,
instances
bro.
of
Look at his
events
shoulders on that
were
guy.
Not the norm. They were so important and
That was a
unusual,
full Manchu.
but they have come through time as warnings left by our brothers and sisters of the ancient past. These events were not lunar eclipses or earthquakes. Now in this time, with our understanding of celestial mechanics, atmospheric, and geological sciences, we must try to make sense of these recorded events and untangle them from worship and prophecy.
That keeps reminding me
It's
of
time to look at
Space
them for
Force
what
logo.
they actually
That shit right
provide
there.
as a roadmap of things to come. We can ask the question, has the Earth stopped rotating for any length of time in recorded history? And the voices call out to us from the ancient Middle East. The book of Joshua in 1405 BC. O sun, stand still over Gibeon. O moon, over the valley of Iasion. 1013. The sun stood still, and the moon stood motionless while the nation took vengeance on its enemies.
And the butcher.
The event is recorded in the scroll of the upright one. The sun stood motionless in the middle of the sky. It did not set
All these
for a
people
full
saying
day.
the same shit.
And those same voices call out to us from ancient Peru. Also in 1405 BC.
All of them drawing this
the 40th
weird
Inca
fucking
Capac
shape.
was
Shit.
Pachachudi, the reformer that started the worship of the sun god Inti. In 1405 there occurred a frightening darkness. Quote, good customs were forgotten, and people were given to all manner of vice. There was no dawn for 20 hours. After a great outcry, confessions of sins and sacrifices and prayers, the sun finally rose. Has the world experienced a global cataclysm before? And will it happen again? And what was remembered, and how is it described to begin again? The voices call out from the ancient American Indians, and this is the ninth and last sign. You will hear a dwelling place in the heavens above the earth that shall fall in a great crash. It will appear as a blue star. Very soon after this, the ceremonies of my people will cease.
Crashing from the sky, dude. Do you remember, I think it was like our Atlantis episode. We found that one website where they had like fucking put up some fucking satellite or whatever, that crystal fucking thing, and then it came down and crashed and caused like the fucking second like little like fucking apocalypse thing that happened.
Yeah.
Wiped out a bunch of people.
I thought they dropped the moon.
I thought it was like this satellite thing. I don't know.
It was something.
And it went over
something
Atlantis,
crashed.
right?
Yeah, and it like fucking created a cataclysm.
Yeah.
Event, dude.
Yeah.
Anyways,
The first nuke.
split. Yeah, exactly.
Peace. As this cataclysm happened before, the voices call out from ancient China. There were seen fire-breathing dragons leaping into the sky. They call out from ancient Siberia. The earth was
Talking
on
about the earth just cracking open, bro. Just magma going everywhere. I don't know what that one's talking about. Fire dragons leaping into the sky.
I mean, well, he says that happens, right? Where like some of the earth, like some of it just splits open. And
Yeah,
just
all the
lava,
magma,
that
yeah.
fucking melted plastic shit that we're
Yeah.
talking about, just fucking spits
fire
out.
from both horizons. And they call again from the ancient past in the voices of the Inca. At the Intihuatana was a stone cut with great precision to observe and measure the movements of the sun. The name meant that which binds the sun, and it makes it return, lest it disappear, returning the earth into a darkness that had occurred once before, according to the legends. Did the Inca, Chinese, Siberians, and the rest remember the last micronova event in their oral histories?
So that's like some of the like they
We
call them
need to take these
micronovas or
people serious.
solar flares or whatever. It's like that crazy EMF shit that the sun puts out, which fucks with our EMF.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Classic.
So yeah, that's basically a couple interesting clips from that video. The whole video was pretty good. I really liked the connection with the CIA he made with the other scientists. Thought that was real interesting. The clip on that guy going to Antarctica and finding that fucking crazy shit just like Bird did.
Interesting.
Pretty interesting. And then he talks about there's a shit ton of stuff on like all the electromagnetic radiation. He goes into showing you all these fucking diagrams and everything. A lot of that was just over my head, so I didn't even fucking want to show clips from that. But yeah, and then that end clip right there. Pretty good video. He does if you want to just if any of you guys wanted to check out his channel, he has tons of fucking videos on this topic of like solar flare, apocalypse, fucking shit. So pretty good channel, worth checking out, I would say. We got another clip here from the Y Files. CIA classified book about the pole shift, mass extinctions, and the true Adam and Eve story. So you can see he's done an episode on the same thing we're talking about here. And we got he's had some interesting stuff. He debunks some of the myths in here. And I think that's the clip that we're watching, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get our
He has
debunk
he has a talking fish too because he doesn't have 3 friends to do a podcast with.
Well, we got a talking lizard, so that guy doesn't know shit.
He's got some production value, it looks like.
So
So that was like, because people were saying that it wasn't all there. Yeah.
Oh, so when you
wrote one
when
book
you
on
look
how
at
to
the
teach yourself.
CIA version, it's missing pages, right? It will be missing some pages. It's like 3 or 4 pages. I think it's missing.
Natural childbirth.
Wait, what?
He did have a natural trial. Yeah, we talked about that.
We did, yeah.
Okay.
What does he know about childbirth? Now, I'm not a biologist, but I don't think men can...
Don't go there. Another thing you'll hear is that the book
Wrong
was
show.
originally 284 pages, but the CIA only released 57 of those pages.
Not true?
Nah, the original book was 57 pages. If you look at the table of contents, the conclusion begins on page 45. And some people will say the CIA is withholding documents because pages are missing, like page 8, page 18, page 20, and a few others. Well, they're missing because they're the opposite sides of title pages. In the original book, they're blank. And I could show you this. Someone has a copy.
This bunk ass fucking clip, bro. I hate this clip. Look, see, look. Right there, blank, see? Look. What the fuck are you showing? You're showing me pages.
Blank.
You showed me one blank page. Everything else had words on it. What the fuck was that clip, dude?
It was terrible. It
They
was
wanna
terrible.
classify it.
Well, that's a bit of a mystery.
Oh, the mystery. That's a bit of a mystery.
What was classified was the book, an inter-office memo with a shopping list for some tools and car parts, and a folded-up article snipped from People magazine.
Well, that's pretty...
Okay, Eddie noticed this, and I thought it was very interesting. We gotta go look at the fucking Rockefeller kid.
Okay.
Mystery. What was classified was the book, an
And
inter-office
it's weird that he's
memo
putting
with a
up
shopping list
fucking
for some tools.
horns like this, and then sticking it in his mouth and fucking raising his
Yeah, so-
hand like some fucking satanic demon child over here, bro.
Nelson Rockefeller Jr.
can we zoom in on that? Can we like?
Yeah, what the fuck is going on here, dude?
I don't know. I can't.
Yeah. You just go to the top with the page.
Well, I mean, shit, we could just pull up the fucking
yeah,
from
yeah,
the CIA.
yeah,
Just pull it up.
yeah,
We'll just be able to look at it.
Right here. I feel it.
There you go, baby. Yeah, let's go.
Oh, look at this guy. Look, scroll up. What's this other fucking? What is this guy, dude? It just looks weird because it's black and white, but
This guy right here.
yeah. I thought he was doing something weird with his hands too. Never mind.
Something.
Not yet. There it is. There's the kid. There's
This
little
article-
Junior.
This article has nothing to do with
At all. It's People
that.
magazine.
Yeah, like that's what's weird about this.
Yeah.
Very weird.
It's
It's,
like,
it's
why
very
was
interesting.
that included in this file?
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's some hidden meaning. Maybe if we like dig in,
Very interesting, people.
we can find something. Because the tool list,
Watch it be 3 pages of it.
he said it was a shopping list, but I don't know about that. Looks like it was like a receipt.
I mean, this is how you build the anti-gravity machine for the UFO he was working on, dude. All you need is your tire gauge, car wiring, brush,
Car wash, washing brush,
fender repair. You know, I got to keep your UFO looking good, dude.
The old fender
magnetic
repair.
icy holder.
Oh, shit.
That should be classified.
What is this?
That should be classified.
Wow.
Reselective.
Oh,
reflective
oh.
tape.
Classified.
You gotta have reflective tape on the UFOs. Government,
Reflective
federal,
tape.
federal law.
We're putting that. This is a high
Hey, but we
price
pulled you
machine.
over today because you're missing your reflector tape on the UFO.
You're gonna
Yeah.
have to pull this thing over, set her down.
Trudeau
get your
asked
tape
us to
on
shoot
there,
you
bud.
down.
How'd you
Sorry.
pass your DMV inspection with
Sorry, bud.
Gonna have to get that tape on there, pal. You're not gonna be able to fly around. Not in these skies.
So could be decoy. Could be something else. We don't know.
This kid's pants looks like a lampshade here wrapped around his chesticle. What do
that?
we?
Fucking dude.
And they
What's
wonder
going
why
on?
the way that he turned out.
Yeah, he was
I don't even know this guy. I'm just
demonic
kidding.
from the beginning.
Well, bro, I bet you that kid could fucking pick your card, though, dude.
Should we
Looks
Google
like a
him real
fucking
quick?
psychic.
Should we Google him real quick?
Who, the Rockefeller guy?
Yeah, see what he's up to.
Well, he's fucking Illuminati confirmed.
No,
bro.
we're
Come on.
switching gears
Sorry,
here. We're switching gears here now. I gotta pull the plug on the gear
and car
switching.
parts, and a folded-up article snipped from People magazine.
Well, that's pretty random.
Yeah, if I had to guess, this document was in the possession of a caseworker, and it was classified just as a matter of course. In 1966, the
I don't know what he necessarily means by that, but
You mean somebody was he obviously worked for the government. He worked in
Yeah.
some sort of field where you would have
And he must have
security
had that.
clearance or something, and they were looking at, they were watching him, seeing what he was doing, etc.
Yeah, they're like, fucking Chauncey over on fucking Division 7, bro. The guy working on UFOs just changed his name to Chan Thomas, and he thinks he's going to sneak a fucking book by us, dude. Like, no way.
Interesting.
No way, dude. Classified.
what a shit gamer tag.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What kind of pseudonym is that too, man?
I'm trying to come up with a good gamer tag. I haven't made one yet.
It's nothing like Epic Walrus, that's for sure, dude.
That's definitely.
That's a savage name. Right
Classic.
I was gonna change it to "You Can't Park There."
You can't play. That's a good one. I like that.
So these were the guys he was working on this UFO shit with. Stan Friedman, Joe Brown.
Year it was classified.
Yeah, but no.
Dr. Thomas, what?
Who's that guy on Rogan? UFO guy that built the UFOs, that worked on them, worked on the reactor.
Dude, it's slipping my mind right now.
It's right there, dude. Come on, Chris.
It's 85. He put the jet engine on his
They
car.
put the jet engine in the car, dude. Come on, bro. They scrubbed his fucking records from the school, bro. Come on, dude.
Yeah,
it's right there, bro.
yeah.
Why is it? It's right on the tip of my tongue.
It's Bob Lazar.
Bob Lazar.
Bob Lazar! There we
job.
go.
Good
Yeah.
Bob Lazar. Final answer.
Yeah. How long were you gonna hold on to that one?
Yeah,
I was gonna wait a little longer.
Oh, you piece of shit.
I was gonna wait a little longer.
He was just edging us, dude.
Yeah,
Come
dude.
on,
'Cause I was
do
like,
it,
look,
do
I'm gonna
it.
make him sweat, man. I'm trying to make
Like,
him
this
sweat.
fucking guy.
Like I wanted to. I was gonna wait so long. You have to edit that out. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna have to get the
I'm
edit.
just production, dude. I don't know.
Working at McDonnell Douglas on UFO and anti-gravity technology. He also worked as a project engineer at Bell Labs.
Just
on
gloss
the
over that.
system.
Just gloss over that. He's just working on anti-gravity technology and UFOs. Next.
Just kept going.
Next.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't everybody doing that? In
I mean,
65,
honestly,
dude?
I was doing it yesterday.
I mean, with as
If you
much
weren't, if you weren't doing that,
shit
you
going
were
on now,
you
like-
were making the Mustang for Ford.
For
so
real.
It was like, you know.
Thomas was known to
I mean, you can really trust this guy. He's clean shaved.
I think the Mustang guy.
What's
was
with
more-
like the why the tilt? Dude? Why the
It's headshot.
Yeah, that's how they did it back in the day. You know.
Tell you know, like
I
you
mean,
lean,
dude, I should
like
do
you're
the
leaning
podcast
over.
like this.
He probably had a
Gravity's
he had
pulling
the
on him.
Costanza wallet or whatever the fuck it's called.
He's gravity's pulling on him right
Yeah,
now.
it's the fucking that UFO gravity shit's fucked up his back. That's what it is,
Yeah.
dude.
His own
He's got a
work.
couple crushed discs.
All right,
Going a
okay.
distance.
I'm sorry, man.
He reversed.
sorry, dude.
He reverse propulsion himself.
This is
inward.
all allegedly.
very eccentric. The classified documents
CBD.
were probably part of a background report, or maybe someone just keeping an eye on him. You'll hear that the book was banned, but it wasn't. Just this one document was classified.
Wasn't.
There were copies in circulation. He also published follow-ups in 1971 and 1993, and neither was classified. As for the content of the book itself, Thomas doesn't provide any solid evidence. He makes a lot of deductions from old texts, some of which are pretty big leaps. And it seems like he's borrowing ideas from other catastrophists like Hapgood, Immanuel Velikovsky, and a few others. But he's cherry-picking his favorite parts without giving specifics. For example, his theory about the ice caps knocking the Earth off axis, well, that comes from Hapgood's first book. But after working with scientists, including Albert Einstein, Hapgood issued a follow-up book that explains
what I
how
was
he got
talking
that
about
wrong.
earlier.
But
Yeah.
Dr. Thomas, he sticks with the story. And the liquid
Sticks with his story. See, dude. You
He's
gotta
a
learn how to let
sticker,
go
dude.
sometimes.
He's a
people.
sticker.
It's okay.
crust bit he talks about, he says the Earth's magnetism and electricity become disrupted. He offers no evidence or even an explanation of how it happens, just that it does. Now, there are ice core samples from the eastern part of Antarctica that show it's been covered in ice for at least 1.5 million years. Now, granted, the western side of the continent is a little trickier because it may not have always been covered in ice. But either way, we know for certain it's been down there for a long time. When Chan Thomas
You don't. You know that it was there 1.5 million years ago, right?
And that referred to as a long time, right? You can't argue that. I mean, we're gonna
Well,
argue
you,
that.
You can't say it switched to the equator.
I can fucking say whatever I want.
Well, I mean, it could, right? Because if we're talking about like a cataclysmic event that can like can move the pole and then like melt all that ice and create a new pole in a relatively quick time, then you might have evidence of there being ice 1 million years ago, and then like 500,000 or 700,000 or whatever. But like it could have flip-flopped in between, right? If these cataclysms are happening and they are catastrophic enough to just create a new pole somewhere else instantly, right?
This guy's,
Allegedly.
This guy's gonna say it because he's more along the lines of the Younger Dryas with like the meteor impact melt. Like, so I think that's what he's getting at, right? Is like this part was always here and it was always frozen over, but the western end, it might have gotten hit by something at some point and created these huge floods and this catastrophic melt, or whatever.
I see.
Because that's what Graham Hancock's whole thing is.
Yeah.
It was a meteor strike on the glaciers.
Mhm.
created this flood.
Released an expanded version of the book in 1993, he didn't make any corrections or provide any new evidence, but he did have chapters on ESP, on UFOs, and on angels. It doesn't read as scientific at all. In fact, it's a hot mess. He jumps all over the place without a cohesive narrative. It feels like he gathered a bunch of ideas he had over the years and then threw them into one final book. So, 2 questions. Was Dr. Chan Thomas a serious researcher? No. But is there evidence to support some of his claims?
I don't know, dude. I don't know, dude. It's like it is like weird and like out there and out of the ordinary, dude. But like,
no lie,
he did go to universities.
Columbia, Columbia, Dartmouth.
He is serious, right?
Columbia and Dartmouth.
Oh yeah, I think he's
graduated with an electrical engineering degree.
Yeah.
Have to be serious for that.
Yeah. And he probably did like really good things in his like regular work,
That don't mean he ain't crazy.
No, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or have some crazy ideas.
Like he could build crazy engines and shit and work on these fucking anti-gravity
out of the
things
box
or
kind of
whatever.
guy. He's out of the box.
Yeah, but maybe with that came this fucking obsession with this being how shit was kind of thing.
True. Yeah.
I think that's what everybody looks for a little bit is just like an explanation, right, or an answer to how things were,
for sure.
how things should be, and whatever that is,
Yeah.
And maybe this was his thing,
What
where are we at?
Yeah,
where are we at? I was just kind of reviewing our little talking points here, see if we missed anything. Do we want to run through?
We're at
anything
an hour
else?
5.
Yeah. Do we want to run through anything else? What was this other stuff here?
What's this? Oh, it's just the book.
Oh, the archive.com or archive.org, the Internet Archive. You can find a copy of the 1993 air
Extended
quotes
version.
full uncensored air quote.
See, this makes me think it was a like a thing to gain attention.
Yeah.
He called up his buddy in the CIA and he was like, "Yo, dude, can you just like classify my book, dude? It's not doing well. I'm gonna re-release it in a couple years, and maybe it'll do really good."
Dude, what
and
a
he's
take,
like,
dude.
and then he titles it
Hot take, dude.
then he titles it fully uncensored.
Hot take.
Yeah.
That's a hot take, dude.
I just like to think that
if you don't want the 57-page CIA one, this is where you can go get the other one, the 1993.
Right. This one has no People magazine and no shopping list.
Damn, dude.
What's the last
for your
one you got?
authenticity?
This is the NASA thing about the. Well, so here's the thing: is like I think this is what it comes down to, right? Is all these things are a flood happened, so it's like whether you believe it was this shift in the crust and the poles switching and that causing the planet to move, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or if it was a meteor strike or some other like catastrophic event like
Or
that.
so an EMP pulse from the sun.
Eddie knocking his fucking
Some
AI robot
some
around.
Electromagnetic
No,
flare up.
They know that it was floods, obviously, from the ripples in the grounds.
But not
right?
everybody agrees with that.
Yeah.
Well, how else it would have gotten there?
I mean, I think the younger dryas thing is starting to become
More popular.
and more like, yeah, this probably happened.
This is
but
not
the
some
consensus
pseudoscience
on
quack.
how it happened or what it was, Yeah.
So yeah,
I
we
think
talked.
I'll never agree on that.
No. I mean,
Talked about the
I don't
cyclical
think we'll
nature.
ever know.
We talked about the planet stop spinning, the sun staying in the sky, poles moving to the equator, equators moving to the poles. We just talked about there's a bunch of different flood stories. Noah's flood, the Mayans hurricane flood, Hawaii's new flood. I don't know. I don't remember.
Did you guys look into the
Sumerian flood?
mud flood?
Yeah.
The Tartarian.
I never looked into that.
We're gonna do a whole episode on it.
Okay.
Yeah, the Tartarian.
We're doing a
mud
whole
flood.
episode on that shit. soon.
Tartarian
Mud flood.
But next week, a little teaser, since UFOs have been a hot topic here recently, we're going to do one on Project Bluebeam. We're going to talk about UFO stuff, too, that's been going on recently.
Beamer.
Project Beamer.
Bluebeam's going to be good. It's a good episode. Classic conspiracy theory.
What else you got on that list?
Beam.
Let's see. 6,500 years ago, the Gunyu flood myth. I mean, there's just these flood myths go out through every fucking civilization ever. We already sort of talked about Atlantis.
Mythed up and mythed out, baby.
James just brought up the ripples in the sand. The land of Mu, 11,500 years
They're
ago.
like 200-300 feet high, though. Let's talk about that for a second. And then there's that sediment that they're made up of, that the sand's sitting on. That's what also is the humdinger. That's what you can't deny about it, because that's what that was called. That's what they found the mammoth in. That's what everything. That's how they know this. That's where the idea of it came from. Not because they just looked at it, but because they dug inside of it, and all of it's that sediment that was just picked up, washed around, and then just left after the water settled. You know.
You're talking about Egypt? Or
I'm talking about these hills. He's talking about. Yeah, these like 200-300 foot.
Yeah, they said they're 5 stories tall.
What was all in the mammoth's fucking stomach that they found? Do you remember?
It was this tropical grass. It was like freshly chown tropical grass. So it was literally eating with a heart on. And yeah, I mean, he's having a good day, dude.
No, the way they were preserved, they're guessing that they were done that way because they were flash frozen instantly.
Yes, instant. That's basically the term. Flash frozen is instant.
Like if you've seen any Marvel comic.
Flash instantly. So that's just the humdinger. It's like something had to happen, and that's why it's a cataclysm, and not like what you're saying, like happening naturally, where the polar ice caps melt because the atmosphere got hot and then everything flooded. No, it has to be a cataclysm, because that woolly mammoth shouldn't have ended up in Siberia. You shouldn't have dug it out of the ground in Siberia, but you didn't dig it out of the ground. You dug it out of that settlement, that shit that was like picked up and made from everything that was in its path. And it just swished it around like in a cup. Like if you had a bunch of layers in a cup, and you put your spoon in there and you whisked it up, and then you just let everything settle, and then you let it dry, and you look on the side of the cup. That's what they found the woolly mammoth in. That's what those hills are made out of. That's how they're telling you that this was a cataclysm, and this just didn't happen over the course of time.
It's not erosion.
This happened instantly, like an instant type disaster. Everything points to it that he was stating, and obviously there's people who want to dispute that, but there's some large key evidence, like this guy saying in WF. There's some key things here, some key elements which you could argue is the foundation of the argument, and then the problem is closing the argument out, like exactly how everything happened. Nobody's going to be able to tell you that, because you could do all this in a swimming pool and it'll never end up the same way every single time you do it. You could use one wave or however you want to do this, but in Arizona, there's a setting where they have these rocks tumbled and everything is done perfect, and it was because the water just kept washing back and forth, and it was a 200-foot wave that did this, and they have a spot in Arizona where this is a thing. So I don't know, and there's a couple other spots around the world where
these rocks are in weird ass fucking places.
Yeah. And you're just asking yourself, like, how did these rocks get here, and how are they like this? Well, that's because water picked them up and moved them over there. I'm not saying I 100% agree with it or believe it, because everything's just so far-fetched at this point. It's like it's so tough, and you can't even count on indisputable evidence with video cameras now, because everything can be edited. Someone's voice can be edited. Everything can be edited now.
What's more possible, this happening or Hollow Earth? I feel like this all the way, dude. There's like scientific explanations for all of it, dude.
Yeah. I guess the argument
for all of this.
Yeah.
What about the ancient text? Is that all CIA driven?
As far as like
talking about the sun staying out, the two suns
and not moving.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all those
the world
could be fake.
Coming to the end,
or just misunderstanding on our part. Could be a figure of speech, a matter of expression. It could be fake.
Well, that was the whole thing with the Mayan tablet, when they said that everybody was going to end up ending, and nobody ended up ending. What ended up happening was they misunderstood it, because the other half of the tablet was gone, and the only thing that ended was that cycle in time and where we were at. I think we were Aquarius. I could be wrong. I'm sorry. We were Pisces maybe, and then we're going into Aquarius.
Yeah,
I'm not sure of the signs. Don't quote me on it. But you were in one. And then when 2000 hit and everything was supposed to be over and done with, and everything was going to come to an end, because everybody said that's what the Mayans said on a rock.
It was just the beginning of something new.
It was just the end of a
cycle.
and the beginning of another one. That's all that was. That's what they were, come to find out later that's what that was.
All right,
But we misunderstood it. The information, just like David's saying.
But what about all the floods?
That's
This
what
happened.
I'm saying,
This has
yeah, I'm
happened.
saying the floods. It seems like the floods are real. Seems like there's a lot of evidence for the floods.
Yeah.
Seems like there's a lot of evidence for the rapid temperature changes. It seems like it's scientifically possible
Core
to get
I thought you were
hit.
saying scientifically possible against this.
No. Four.
Yeah.
I'm pretty convinced that this is like doable, right?
Oh yeah, but when?
Yeah.
When's
Can
it?
I give you a fucking good time? I mean, like we have. Seems like the closest one would be the Younger Dryas. Seems like that would be
11,000.
Seems like that would be the closest one, dude.
The old 11,000, baby.
So
11,000.
Which, dude, we're fucking due for another, bro.
Well, that's what they're saying. This is what's very interesting about all this, and that's what makes this book very interesting, because in this book of, referred to as hoopla, and a lot of people might want to say that this might be, some hogwash or propaganda being pushed for somebody's reasons at the end of the day. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. But I think it's interesting that they say in this book that we're overdue.
So what do you think,
We're
James?
prego and we're overdue. I think it's interesting.
It's tough. It's tough because, like Chris was mentioning earlier about the animals.
Uh-huh.
What happened to all the animals? The people. How did anybody survive? Like, yeah, maybe they survived in Agartha. Maybe that's how they survived. But if the heat from the lava, the core, how could you survive there?
Maybe it's some type of like a circle, but it like how they have that description of it going like in like that.
Yeah.
Like maybe the fucking core and stuff is just on that inside part, right? Not like the inner tube, but
I just think this is
I
your
think they're
typical,
probably pieces that come
or
from all
caves
over.
or sections. That
No.
that makes more sense to me.
I think
bro.
this is more along the lines of you're taking these caves to the center of the earth, like towards the center of the earth, and then
Right.
somewhere along the lines you hit a portal, and then this portal takes you to where everybody's referring to.
Yeah.
I don't think that this is necessarily like you just keep walking through a tunnel, and then it's like, you just push open the fucking, the doors, and boom, you're here. It's Agartha.
Welcome,
Hey, everybody.
you made it, bud.
I don't think it's like that. I think it's more along the lines as like, instantaneous. Like you're not there, and all of a sudden now you're in there, and everything's completely different. And you can see, because as soon as you look up, now this is different from, because I've heard that before, that's what those tunnels are. I've heard this before, that those tunnels take you to everything that you see in the sky. But it's just your way of getting there. It's your transportation to get there.
Chris, what do you think,
Makes
brother?
sense.
Conclusion. What are you thinking, bro? Possible? Not
Conclusion,
possible?
like I have a gut feeling that if these magnetic poles shift, that I don't necessarily know if there's gonna be like this whole
Cataclysm.
yeah. Because like what I was saying earlier about how like the north, it moves like 50 miles this way, or what, it's off from the actual like geographical north of the planet already, and that moves, and we have no idea. There's like, it doesn't affect our daily lives or anything like that. It doesn't change. I mean, we don't, maybe it does and we just don't know yet, but I like in my day-to-day life, like I can't tell you if the magnetic poles have moved or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Not only that, but doesn't like the Earth's like magnetic field or whatever protect us from like a lot of like sun radiation and shit? And if that were to get distorted or fucked up or changed in any way, or if the sun's putting out like an extra super blast of fucking something, like aren't we all just getting fucking roasted, dude? Like that's what they said, how that fucking glass was formed, like after it got hit with all these fucking waves.
That was on the moon, right? I mean,
yeah,
that
and it doesn't have like a magnetic field to like protect it from the fucking
because
rays.
that's the other thing too. I mean, there's going to be certain parts. I would assume that when this shift happens, those certain parts are going to gonna get slammed for sure with radiation. Probably,
Well,
it's definitely possible.
So you're not really sold on the idea of like Ice Age.
Yeah, I'm not sold that that's gonna happen. But what could end up happening, right, is like this magnetic field goes down. We lose our protection from this radiation from the sun, and like all our electronics and shit just get fucking fried.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And that could
that
could
alone would be fucking a cataclysm. I feel like, dude.
Yeah, that's possible.
that's
no
gonna
power
be-
grid,
that's
no
possible.
fucking connection to anything, no GPS.
Like an EMP.
Yeah.
Like worldwide EMP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All your satellites just crash, dude.
Right, cause say that happens,
Like-
right? Say the fucking we lose the magnetic field or it goes all out of whack for a second, and then a fucking solar flare comes off the sun at that exact time.
Hell
you know,
yeah.
like
And like
whatever side of
demagnetizes the fucking Earth.
Yeah, whatever side of the Earth's fucking pointing that sun, dude, is getting fucked up.
Fried.
There's no way. you know?
Fried.
Yeah, we're fucked. But that's a lot of variables to play. Where this is saying like the poles are gonna flip, and then this
It's
is
a guaranteed clock.
This is guaranteed gonna
Yeah.
happen. The crust is gonna. And then we're gonna fucking.
And then it just switches back at the 90-degree angle too.
The old guarantee.
That's wild.
Yeah, the whole thing with like.
That's why you need a bunker to go in there until it switches back.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing with it just like moving dramatically like that, and with the core, like we were saying earlier, like those documents that came out that it stopped spinning. Now it's spinning counterclockwise compared to how it's been spinning for the last however many thousand years or whatever the fuck, But again, no effect on our daily life. Nothing changed dramatically. Maybe the client or maybe the climate, maybe it had some effect on that,
Right.
Texas got froze out. Like their power grid wasn't able to handle it. It got kind of cold here,
So, all right, final question. What is your ideal method of escape from this thing? Do you take the boat? Do you go on a spaceship? Or do you do the bunker route? Eddie, go first.
I think if all options are readily available to me, and my choice then would be to go to space.
Mm-hmm.
Because I will take my chance having all of that go as crazy as it possibly can, and me just trying to get up there, save my fuel, and float around up there as long as I can float around up there, so that potentially there's a possibility that some way, somehow I can come back and land on solid ground some way, somehow, and then try and worry about trying to find food and water at that point. Hoping that there's
you're
a
like,
week
okay,
or
is
two
anyone-
ration in the ship.
Is anyone even going to be fucking down there when you come back? Like, fucking, there's not going to be any communications. Like, unless you're talking to me in my fucking super awesome bunker that I've built and hanging out in and totally survived in.
Yeah, but what if that gets flooded out? And you
my
can't-
super awesome bunker is not getting flooded out. We have
Immediately
all
gets
the
swallowed
fucking
by a
preventative
volcano.
measures for that, dude.
Immediately just gets swallowed by a volcano.
And I'm going to be fucking trolling Eddie, who's out in space, being a loser, not having the ride of his life on the fucking
I don't know. Eddie,
the
Eddie
crust
might be,
shift wave here, bunker wave, bro.
Eddie might be 185.
Fucking bum, dude.
He's not
Up
hurting.
there in space like a little bitch, dude. A little pussy. You had to fucking leave Earth, dude.
Fucking agile, ready
Bro.
to strike like a cobra.
Eddie's gonna come back from space and be the fucking. He's gonna be Jesus. What do you mean?
I think I'm doing bunker though, dude. I think I'm doing bunker. I think the spaceship's a really good idea, and then you also have the pot. Like you could go somewhere else, right?
Right.
Like you're like, okay, Earth is fucked. To Mars, dude.
James.
Like wherever.
Yeah.
James.
But the
Spaceship.
Bunker just seems cooler. Bunker seems so much cooler.
James, listen, you got a choice now, right? I don't look. You got.
Who's going with the boat option?
Hold on,
Chris.
You got ship.
Take the boat.
Okay, you got ship. You got boat. Right. You got boat. You got bunker.
and not Kevin's ship.
It's got to be a spaceship.
Loser.
It's got to be a spaceship. You got to get out of here.
It's a good idea.
The water could flood the bunker. The water could.
You got a shitty
Flip-
bunker if
flip
you're
the
getting
boat.
fucking flooded, bro. Your bunker was shit.
Yeah,
You
it-
should have talked to your contractor better. You got scammed.
You don't know how long you're going to be in there. At least in space, you can see what's going on the Earth.
With what? Your fucking super telescope?
You're in a fucking spaceship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck
You're
are you
superior.
seeing anything down there?
It's
just
called
gonna be clouds.
spaceship because you're superior.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
Far
boat's starting to sound
superior.
pretty good.
Boat? No, you're dead. What happens if the sun hits you?
Well, like you're.
Sun hits me?
I mean,
I'm
what
gonna
if you
have a-
build?
I'm
What if
gonna-
you build your boat like
I'm gonna
a
have this-
bunker?
yeah, I'm gonna have the same contractor as David.
Yeah, I mean,
Except
like, what if
David's-
your bunker's just on the boat? Actually, hold on.
David's just
Isn't
gonna
the
get
sun
swallowed
gonna
up.
melt it?
Bunker
The
boat.
heat?
It's a bunker boat.
No,
BB.
you have the fucking NASA spaceship fucking metal on it that like fucking retains the heat or whatever. It does fine with heat. Heat's not the problem. I don't know. Boat might actually be the move.
I'm saying because like, what
Why would
does
you not
Bruce
go to
Lee always
space?
say?
Cause dude,
Move
that's the
like
lamest
water.
fucking option, dude. The pussy route out, dude. You're not.
The
It's like
pussy-
it's like going outside in the middle of the hurricane, bro, just to feel the crazy winds. It feels good, dude. Like
Of course it
staying,
does.
staying inside is fucking
better.
lame, bro. It's fucking lame, dude. You want to go outside and experience the fucking crazy. So if you had the chance to experience a fucking apocalypse, you're gonna jet out. Like
Yeah. Yep.
loser,
Yes.
loser.
Rational. Fucking straight rash, bro.
And so,
You know what
Chris,
I mean?
you're doing
I'm
the boat,
rational.
huh?
I feel like I'm being rational.
Die or not die.
Yeah. Yeah. Live or just watch everybody else die from sky.
I mean, I would do spaceship, but in fear of being called a pussy, I'm just gonna go boat.
Yeah, boat. Let's go, dude.
Fear.
Let's go.
I'm taking boat under duress.
Oh,
Final answer.
Final answer. Boat. Peer pressure.
Oh shit, that's too funny.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening to another exciting episode of the Conspiracy Commission.
get it.
Hell yeah, this one was fun. I liked it.
Next one we're gonna be doing on some aliens and UFOs.
But the Kissinger report, I'm gonna be fucking sleeping on that episode.
Blue
Yep.
beam.
Boo.
Kissinger report here coming up soon too.
Boo.
Solid.
Lots of exciting stuff happening at the Conspiracy Commission. Thank you for listening. Share it with your friends.
Check us out on
Deuces.
Instagram. Review us, please, and
Spotify.
answer our polls and questions.
Spotify.
This is the Conspiracy Commission Podcast.